Since retiring from football, John Hartson has fought a well-documented battle against cancer, which almost killed him. But he also has a terrible gambling addiction, which got so bad that he says that also could have killed him.
It was no blame on it, it was just me. It was just something that got into my head, and it became an issue. It became an issue. I was playing fruit machines. I became an addict very early on. And then when you get a little bit older, I was playing the one-arm bandits. When you get a bit older, a bit more famous, when I started to earn decent money with the football clubs I was at, you don't really want to be walking into betting shops with a lot of cash in your hand. People stare, they look at you, and so you open up accounts, and they're the worst things, accounts, because it's not real money in your hand, you know, it's on an account, and it doesn't feel the same when you walk into bookmakers with a load of money, or whether you do it on the phone. It's just mentally, it's just not quite the same, but it's just as easy, if not easier. So it spiraled out of control. And don't get me wrong, I had a great life. I lived in beautiful houses and I had the best cars and lovely holiday destinations, and didn't affect anybody around me. You know, they were all looked after as well. But for me, I hit rock bottom when I came out of hospital, when my wife said to me that she could no longer sit back and watch me put myself through what I was putting myself through. She thought too much of me, it was killing her, and she said, "You also won't put me and our girls through it." So that was a huge moment for me. That was the rock bottom. And from that day, October the 5th, 2011, 7 years now and 2 months, that was my last bet I placed. And I've not even so much as bought a raffle ticket since. I've really got into the program. I wouldn't say I'm anti-gambling, because not everybody who gambles is an addict. And for me, it just became a real problem in my life, problematic. Everything revolved around the gambling. It controlled my life. I woke up in the morning, I got my bets on, it controlled my moods, it controlled everything. And in the end, it controlled the fact that I couldn't pay my bills. So that was a disaster. It caused me so many disasters. I just didn't want it anymore. I just got sick of it, to be honest. And I just decided to stop. That was me. I'm not doing this anymore. I want to save my marriage. I want to save my relationship with my kids. And to do this, I've got to knuckle down. I've got to knuckle down, and I've got to show a bit of self-control and a bit of desire and a bit of fight. And that's what I've been able to do. And I went to Gamblers Anonymous in Swansea in a meeting. And I went there, and I continued to go twice a week. My wife came with me. She went to Gamanon, which is next door, where the mums of the problematic gamblers and the wives and the sisters and the family members go into a separate room. They discuss issues that they are dealing with the gamblers. They join the meeting for the last half an hour, and you all talk as a group. I got some brilliant advice. I got some amazing feedback and help from the other compulsive gamblers that were in that room, especially the experienced ones who'd gone years without betting, but kept going to help the newcomers. And it's the best thing I've ever done. I've got a real focus now in life. And gambling no longer controls that, you know. And as I said, it's heartbreaking to see people out there that can't quite kick this habit. And as I alluded to earlier on, not everybody who gambles is an addict. People can enjoy a bet. People only have a bet once a month, once a year, twice a week. They gamble with what they can afford. And I would never tell anybody to stop gambling. That's for them to decide that, because nobody could tell me. And I would never, if they ask me for help, I'm in desperate trouble, John. I have just gambled the wedding money. We're getting married in the summer. I've just done 10 grand. I can't believe, how could I go home and tell my wife? Get all this all the time, different stories. If they want a bit of advice and a little bit of help, I'll give them that. And if they want to go to a meeting and try and get on top of this gambling addiction, I'll introduce them to the group at the meetings that I go to. But other than that, it's very difficult for me just to tell people to stop gambling. And more recently, I've become an ambassador for Ladbrokes in terms of a campaign that the government are doing and getting behind and supporting, in terms of encouraging people to gamble responsibly, seeing the dangers, you know, not getting to a place where I was, if you like. And it's knowing if you're spending too much time in the bookmakers, maybe that extra half an hour a day that you weren't spending 3 months ago, giving them the right information where they can go and get help if they feel it's becoming problematic. Introducing things like Gamblock, you know, banning themselves from their local bookmakers, these type of things. It's all there, all the help is there. There's GA in most cities and counties across Great Britain, Gamblers Anonymous. So there is help there, but it's like everything else. You've got to want to stop. You've got to want to change your life. This is not like a 3-month job where you can just go clean for 3 months. This is forever. People have to realise you cannot ever have a bet again if you want to become clean from gambling. If you don't want to do that and you want to keep gambling and doing your little bits and bobs, that's fine, as long as you can deal with that as a person. So I'm delighted that I've come on board with Ladbrokes, because 1 or 2 people have said to me, "Oh, John, are you sure? Because you're 7 years," and and I'm like, being an ambassador for Ladbrokes is something good. It's something positive. It's a positive message that I'm sending out to compulsive gamblers. Gamble responsibly. These are the dangers. These are the pitfalls. And I feel it's something positive. And being an ambassador for Ladbrokes ain't going to make me gamble again, because I've been cleansed. I've totally taken it out of my vocabulary, gambling. Yes, one day at a time, of course, as they say. But I will always be a recovering gambling addict. That will never go away, and when I'm 70, if I live that long, I'll still go to meetings, because they give me so much advice, and it's like getting my medicine once or twice a week. Seeing the newcomers come in with real problems, helping them get to a place where ultimately the people that I spoke about, the ones who are 10, 15 years without a bet, myself 7, getting them to that place, if they want help, or that is, of course. So it became a real issue for me, caused lots of problems. But being clean, I know I come through the cancer and that's your life. But I will say on record, stopping gambling saved my life. Saved my life.
What made it go from a hobby to an addiction?
Well, I think I was an addict very young. Because I worked in a social club on the council estate. Great club, great people, brilliant. And I used to stand by the drink machines all night, watching people playing the bandits, the fruit machines. And then I'd go away, and the boss would walk past. "Hey, you, come on, get on your bike. Stop watching them." I'd go and do half an hour's work. And while I was working, picking up the glasses, the guy on the machine would have like 10 nudges, and he'd call for me. He'd say, "Go and get that kid. Go and get that boy," because I'd memorised it all. I'd memorised all the wheels, all the fruits. So I'd come back and I'd say, "Yeah, mate, it's 2 up there, it's 3 down, it's 1 up," and he'd win the jackpot. And I just used to get a massive kick out of that.
Even though it's somebody else winning the money?
Yeah, and he'd give me like a couple of quid over. He said, "There you go, son, there you go." He'd probably give me half my night's wages. But it was that early. It was that early where, something in my brain, the gambling, it just got me. And as I said, as I got a bit older, you start betting on horses then. And I had dogs, I had horses. And I'd go to the race tracks, and it became like a real social part of what I was doing.
There was a day at Ascot where you backed a horse on its name, didn't you? And you left with a Sainsbury's bag. How much money was in that?
I don't know.
£67,000 according to your book, in a Sainsbury's bag.
Well, the book is exaggerated. No, it's not. No, but I think we had a good day that day. But within about a week, I think I'd give it back.
Oh, well, at times your debts were pretty catastrophic,
well, that's
weren't
the thing. A gambler, you know, you win one week and you're sharing it all out, and then the next week you're asking for it back, or you're asking for a loan, or that's what it is. That's what it's like, especially the numbers that you're gambling at, you know, the amounts. So I had a couple of bad days and a couple of good days. I ended up in a lot of debt. And, you know, I had to wave a lot of money away in terms of what I earned. But that was then, and obviously I'm in a great place now, you know, financially, mentally, physically. And one of the main reasons for that is because I'm away from the gambling scene. Was
there a desire for a buzz? Because you talked about wanting to win big money, but you were earning big money a lot of the time.
I think it was the losing takes you back, because you're chasing then and you want to get back what you've lost. And I've heard a lot of people say that. Sometimes when you win, you walk away because you're happy, you've won, you've had a great day and you're on top. When you're losing, you want to go back and win what you've lost back, and then you chase. And then some days, everything will go against you. You know, you'll be 3 furlongs in front, going over the last, and it'll fall. And whatever you do, you can't get it right. I'm sure compulsive gamblers will second that. And you have bad days. Now, my bad day was obviously a huge loss, because I wasn't gambling 5s and 10s. I was gambling in the, you know, the 4-figure sums and things like this, and the 5-figure sums, the monies. So your losses are a lot more as well then. But as I said, that was part of it. I'm willing to talk about it, and I hope by me talking about it will help others. That's ultimately what the interview is about, so we can, you know, we can inspire others with the cancer and obviously the gambling issues and things like that. And I can look back now, and it's, you know, it was an experience at the time. I loved it. It was great. But I'm one of the very lucky ones as well to have come through them experiences, and I'm still here to tell the tale.
And for people that are watching that, you know, maybe they enjoy a gamble, they don't know if they've got a problem or not. Yeah. I mean, there were signs there for you. For example, you were lying to people around you. You stole money on occasions, but lying in the sense that you would call bookmakers up and you had like a secret code.
I had a code that they would have to add a 0 on to what I was said. So if I'm sitting there with a lot of people, I'd say £10, but it meant £100. You know, that these little things is what you do. It's what you discuss with the bookies and things like that. But no, I think my message would be to gamblers is to when the fun stops, stop, which is the ultimate phrase. When it stops becoming fun, and it's affecting your mood, and it's affecting your home life and your workplace and all these type of things, it's a real problem. You've got to address that then, because don't get into the pitfalls, don't go into that black hole where you've lost everything and you're in desperate trouble. It's not a nice place to be. I've been in that place, and it's very dark. And through a little bit of mental strength, also rock bottom, being put in a position where I had nowhere else to do, nothing else to think about apart from getting help for this illness, and it is an illness. So my advice to people would be, recognise when it gets really bad, and you know, take more of a hold of your life when it gets that bad, because you know it can get you into a really low place.
And so now, 7 years down the line, your wife controls your finances.
Yes.
So you don't have any temptation there, and she gives you sort of a small amount of cash to carry around with you.
Well, it's working. And why would I want to change it? If I want anything, if I want a Range Rover tomorrow, I can go and buy one. If the money's there, if I want to go and buy a nice suit, my wife will say, come on, you can have 2 of them.
I'm guessing it's her peace of mind as well after everything you guys have been
Absolutely.
through.
And in the start, 7 years ago, I had to get receipts for everything. And if I went for a pint with my mates, you can always get a receipt. The barman can give you a receipt for that, 3 or 4 quid, whatever it was, for a pint. Or if you're in London, 6 quid for a pint. So these little things are part of what you have to do.
You said that your gambling got so bad that it could have killed you. How would it have killed you?
People take their own lives because gambling becomes so bad.
Were you ever in that place?
No, I never ever considered that. But I was on the verge of losing my wife because she'd packed her bags and she said that she was going to leave me. That was my rock bottom. So you can be, the 4 place you can end up as a compulsive gambler. You can end up out of your house because things have got so bad, so you end up on the streets. You can end up in jail because you've stolen something and desperate people do desperate things. You can end up dead because things have got so bad, you're in so much debt that it's been known for people to have taken their own lives because the debt has got so big and they're in a position of feeling that they can't go nowhere, can't get out of it. They've lost everything. They've lost their wife, they've lost their kids, relationship-wise, they've lost their job, they're in massive amounts of debt. They've ended it, and unfortunately they've taken their own lives. Or you can end up at GA, which is the 4th place. Them 4 places you can end up as a compulsive gambler. And through the grace of God, I ended up at GA. So I avoided them other 3. That's what they say. Gamblers Anonymous, whoever chairs the meetings will tell you that. It's the 4 places you can end up. So when I say I could well have been in jail or I could have been dead, I've just explained the reasons why.